So I believe there are two things that are fundamental to being happy or peaceful with life, and those are acceptance and strength. And I'm going to start with a saying that I think is incredibly true, but it's not, there's a little bit more nuance to it than just a saying. It's desire is suffering, because when you desire something, you're automatically putting you in a place of discontentment or of being unsatisfied, because you desire something. If you're happy with what you have right now, that is where you will find peace. And so, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't desire things or shouldn't have goals. But when you have a goal, let's say I want to be a painter or something, or someone who can paint for a living, it's good to have such ambitions, but I shouldn't expect that I shouldn't let that desire withhold me from being peaceful and happy and content right now. Because if I do that, then I won't be happy, I won't be peaceful. And so the way to counter that and the way to deal with it is to be aware of the journey it takes to reach that goal, and to enjoy that journey and to be happy with that journey. So maybe I have to, if I were to have that as a dream, as an ambition, to be a painter, a full-time painter, one day I might be painting right now, I might know that I have to paint a lot more for a lot more years to come in order to achieve my goal, but I should focus on the journey and enjoy the journey and be happy with where I'm at right now, to be peaceful and to be happy. And so I still have that goal. Well, it's an example, but let's say I have that goal of being that painter who is a full-time painter. Then I can still be happy even if I'm not there yet. But if I were to desire it, I want to be there right now, then I'm not going to be happy right now because I'm not there, obviously. And so this goes for multiple things. It doesn't only go for an example where you have control in the goal or the ambition, but it also happens like when life hits you with some adversity. Maybe if I were to break my leg, for example, that is something that I would, if it happened, I would probably initially desire to not, desire to not have my leg broken. And so this is the same with adversity that hits us, but also with long-term desires of maybe you are someone who is poor but wants to be richer. Maybe you are single and want to be in a relationship. These are all examples of desire, and where desire can withhold you from being happy and being peaceful. And with all of these examples, it's the same, because with the leg, the sooner I accept that I've broken my leg and that it will heal eventually, the sooner I can be peaceful and happy again. The same is with being poor. If I accept that I'm poor and I know that I can, it's kind of like coping in a way that you can think of, it's basically looking at it with a healthy attitude. That's basically what it is, because in every situation there is a way to accept what happened, but sometimes so much suffering happens that it's incredibly hard to do that. And that made me think of a book of Viktor Frankl. It's called Man's Search for Meaning, and this is also where I come to the second fundamental thing to happiness and to fulfillment in your life, which is strength. In this book he talks about how he was a victim of the Holocaust. He was in 4 concentration camps, I believe, and how he was able to not give up and to keep going, to use the suffering as meaning, and to use strength to persevere and to in the end survive the concentration camps. And to strength, there's not really much to be said other than strength is just what is needed to not give up when suffering happens, which is illogical, let's say a loved one dies, even though it's hard to accept it at first, we all realize that death is a part of life and everyone will die at some point, and that is a way to accept it. But obviously, if things happen that are not logical, like maybe someone dies, maybe you get sick, maybe you lose your job, maybe your girlfriend or boyfriend breaks up with you, if all these things happen quickly after each other, then it would seem illogical. Why would that happen? Why would it all happen at the same time? Maybe something happens that it doesn't make sense, and that is where the suffering is the most difficult to accept. And the way to persevere and to get through that is by strength, by using strength. And a way to deal with this suffering is also, I also spoke about this in another video, about how you can use a way to use suffering as a way to grow and to see it as a challenge, so that it's easier to accept and easier to bear with it and to persevere through the suffering. But obviously it's still hard to accept, but in the end I think those two things, acceptance and strength, and you can also kind of contain both of those traits into attitude, because they both kind of come down to that in a way. Your desire is, your acceptance is your attitude. You need an attitude, a positive attitude, to be able to accept the things that happen in your life and how your situation is right now. But strength is also kind of an attitude, because if you see things in a more negative way, a more pessimistic way, it's obviously more difficult to accept and to persevere through suffering. So basically, attitude and then acceptance and strength, those things are really the way to be happy and fulfilled in life and peaceful and okay with your situation, even if it's difficult. And so that is my opinion in that topic, and I hope you maybe learned something, or maybe you have different views on it. Please let me know what they are, and thank you for watching.